This is Learn Jazz Standards Jazz Blues Accelerator. This is the first jam session, and I am going to play just one time through this etude. This etude is something I've been working on the whole time. I hadn't called it an etude until the assignment was assigned to call it an etude. I'm going to talk about it more later, but here we go to get it out of the way. So now's the talking. You can shut it off if that's all you wanted to hear. The etude, something I've been working on throughout the whole Jazz Blues Accelerator thing. Maybe not the first session or two, but once I started to do a little bit of improvising on the other session assignments, I started working on that one. I had in the past heard that it wasn't a good idea to write a solo out ahead of time, and that's something that Brent just discussed in this little thing here. Made me feel better about it. One thing I'd done in the past with trombone was I worked on a tune until I could get it, and then I wrote out a solo. And sometimes when I wrote out a solo for a tune before I'd go to a jam session, I felt like I was writing a new tune, like the etude was a tune. I don't know how anybody feels about that, but I'd be interested in hearing. But I heard that wasn't a good idea, and I wasn't improvising or playing off off the cuff, what you'd think of normally as improvising. But I noticed one thing was that when I was familiar with the tune and the progression, that when I would flub something, which was invariable, I wouldn't play the etude exactly the way I had in practice. When I'd flub something, I'd take it from there, and maybe I'd get back to the etude, or maybe I wouldn't, but I'd play some stuff that wasn't written, and hopefully it usually fit. And that was nice. This one, I stayed pretty close to it. I only worked it out specifically just ahead of time this time. I think I may have played it really similarly in like session 2, maybe session 3, a little bit more similar to that. I got the inspiration from that from Louis Armstrong. It wasn't exactly what Louis does with it, but I had listened to a lot of Louis with my wife some years ago, and I noticed he played that tune. There's a place in France. He played it a little bit more straight and only one time through, but I just took the beginning phrase of that motif, and then by the end of it I completed that first phrase, or the first two phrases, whatever it is. Anyway, interested to hear what anybody thinks of all that, and I will stop talking now and move on to session 6. And thank you, Brent, and sorry I'm bad with names. You're a great helper. Everybody else that listens and comments, appreciate the help and support. Thanks.